You know Shaletta makes you laugh, but did you know Shaletta Brundage can also make you think and boost your business? Media personality, activist, and comedian Shaletta Brundage founded Shaletta Makes Me Laugh to celebrate and share the best of Black culture. It's a podcasting platform. You can download 10 weekly podcasts hosted by African American subject experts at ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com is also a production house, creating broadcast quality commercial content. And Shaletta and her team of storytellers create powerful promotional campaigns to get businesses the brand awareness they're looking for. Some of Minnesota's top businesses trust Shaletta, and you can too. Get out the word about your events and products and get in front of communities of color with ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com. She's got the power to help your business.
Want your boss to put some real action behind the rhetoric when they talk about making your workplace more inclusive? Find out how to hold their feet to the fire and demand diversity on the Diversity Dude podcast.
Hello there, and welcome to the Diversity Dude podcast, recognized as one of the top 100 diversity and inclusion podcasts in the United States. I'm your host, Lambers Fisher, marriage and family therapist, award-winning author, and national speaker on the topic of multicultural awareness and diversity. And for more positive and encouraging tips and strategies, check out my award-winning book, Diversity in Clinical Practice, which offers unique ways to positively address the often difficult topic of multicultural awareness and diversity, helping professionals like you in your efforts to meet the greatest variety of cultural needs possible for those whom you serve. And if you haven't heard it yet, I invite you to visit TED.com and check out my talk called What to Do When You Offend Someone, where I offer a positive and practical perspective on how to navigate unintentional offenses in daily life. To date, it's been viewed over 500,000 times. Check it out for yourself, and if you're encouraged by it as well, share it with a friend. And whether it be through my one-on-one relationship building efforts as a therapist or my informing and empowering efforts as an author or speaker, know that my personal mission is to do my part to improve the world one strengthened relationship at a time. Now, today I want to reflect on the question, is discrimination against white men a real thing? So, Equal Employment Opportunity Commission Chair Andrea Lucas recently made waves in the news and social media when she publicly invited white males who feel as though they have experienced discrimination based on race or sex at work to file claims in hope of potentially recovering money lost to them based on their right to do so under federal civil rights laws. This has naturally stirred up a lot of feelings and heated conversations over the legitimacy, as well as the impact of white men filing reverse discrimination claims allegedly motivated by anti-white racism. Now, while I never claim to have the answer that ends all arguments, acknowledging that conversations on this issue often impact personal and professional relationships and potentially cause rifts if not healthily explored, then I would like to offer a few things worth considering in hopes of equipping people on any side of this argument with mutually considerate language and clarified misunderstandings, which have the potential to lead to mutually healthy outcomes. Consideration number one. Anyone can experience discrimination. What I mean by this is that if discrimination includes treating people negatively, as in denying earned rights and privileges or inflicting physical or emotional harm on others based on a category a person belongs to rather than individual merit, then anyone can be discriminated against. All it takes is for someone in authority, or either by official position or socially recognized influence, to determine that a person or groups of persons should be denied something they deserve or have earned. This includes people of any gender or race or age or religion in any race, that's being the case. No one, let me repeat, no one should be made to feel as though they are bad just because of their race. And no one should be denied opportunities just because of their race. And yes, that includes white men. So for anyone listening to this who won't hear anything I'm saying until I say this sentence aloud, here you go. Yes, it's impossible to discriminate against white men if they're in a situation where they're actually being treated unfairly based on their race or gender. But that's a big if, because of consideration number two, which is that discrimination against white men is often confused with the inconvenience of the loss of privilege. You see, just as I can admit that it is possible for white men to find themselves in a situation where they're being treated unfairly based on their race or gender, Too often, they may feel like they're in an uncomfortable situation of reverse discrimination when they're actually in an unfamiliar situation where they are not provided the advantages over others that they have grown accustomed to, because it can admittedly look similar. On the surface, a white man can express frustration that he lost out of being hired on a desired job that eventually went to, let's say, a woman of color, believing that the company's documented DEI goals meant that anti white racist DEI quotas were the cause of the job that he thought he earned and was entitled to being given to someone else because she was a woman of color, and still be completely mistaken. Sure, there may have been a DEI goal on the company's mission statement, but the existence of DEI goals is not synonymous with discrimination. Contrary to popular belief, the best DEI goals are designed explicitly to reduce discrimination and unfair treatment for everyone. So, acknowledging the historical precedent that underqualified white men experience privilege over women of color and other underrepresented groups, and equally qualified men experience privilege of the automatic tiebreaker. DEI goals often seek to address not percentage goals, but the unfair advantage and the impact of this on companies and everyone within them. Studies have shown that companies with healthy DEI practices grew in their financial bottom line, as well as their professional relationships and morale, not because of the diversified company photo, but because of the diversified contribution each employee brought to the team, such that maintaining the more of the same always wins the tiebreaker policy was not only unfair to underrepresented groups, but disadvantageous to the company as a whole. So, while white men can be discriminated against, before making this claim of reverse discrimination aloud, it's worth asking the question: am I really being discriminated against? If so, address it. Or am I just disappointed or angry that my whiteness didn't give me the extra boost over someone else with more qualifications I hoped it would? Or that it didn't automatically give me the tiebreaker with someone else who was equally qualified? Or, and here's the tough one, admittedly confusing to many, that my seemingly higher qualifications weren't automatically valued over someone else's different qualifications. Why is this one confusing? Well, if you have more degrees or internships or letters of recommendation than someone else, it is understandable that you will feel entitled to the win and thus confused if you lose. However, consider this. What if the qualifications you have and value are not the ones the company values or needs? Have you considered the possibility that the company already has a department full of people with the same degrees and qualifications as you, which is great, but also may reflect them already having their needs met in that particular area? But that the seemingly less qualified candidate you lost a job to may have had different yet still impressive qualifications, as well as a different set of personal and professional experiences, providing them with a perspective that can lead them to offering new creative solutions to the company's unmet needs. In situations like this, what may seem like anti white discrimination, as evidenced by completely unqualified DEI hires taking your job, may accurately be a differently qualified professional with having different qualifications or opportunities, earning that opportunity that was never rightfully yours to begin with, which leads to consideration number three. DEI efforts and initiatives benefit when it is communicated clearly how they benefit everyone. Anyone dismissing claims of discrimination against white men because white men don't have the right to feel discrimination will unfortunately fuel feelings of unfair treatment because everyone has the right to their feelings. Instead, it's worth hearing every argument and then exploring potential misunderstandings of what is discrimination versus what may be inconvenience due to loss of privilege. While these specific situations are being addressed, we can all help contribute to the reduction of the likelihood and merit to unfounded anti discrimination claims by helping make clear how DEI doesn't just benefit underrepresented groups. DEI benefits everyone. If we learn to value not just that which we are familiar, but that which meets unmet needs, then we can learn to see that increasing variety of qualifications, experiences, and perspectives in a workplace equips the company and organization with what it needs to meet a greater variety of needs. It's not about white people being bad or people of color being good. That's a misunderstanding. Rather, it's about finding and appreciating variety in everyone's contributions. And here's where the real opportunity is. Instead of arguing how you have the right to complain or force your way into a place where you're not wanted, even if you bring nothing new to the table, I honestly encourage you to focus your efforts on identifying and highlighting ways in which you do bring something new and needed to the table, showing the value that you have just as much as everybody else in their own way. If you do this well, you won't have to worry about who took your job or whether the person looked like you or not. Instead, you'll be able to accept that if you didn't get the job, it's because you were not what they needed. And when you do get the job, it will not be because you're a white male entitled to it, but hopefully because you have what they needed. Then go ahead, make yourself useful by meeting that need and learn to appreciate the variety of need meters around you. With all this being said, my hope for you is that you will be able to hear the claims of white male feeling discriminated against and respond in a healthy way. While there are many out there who may use this as an excuse to manipulate the system for their advantage, which does indeed need to be rooted out and thwarted, there are also those who are genuinely confused and feel unfairly treated. These individuals need less judgment and resentment and instead need to be more informed and guided in a healthy direction to get their legitimate needs met. And if you find yourself in a conversation that unfortunately blames people today for the historical precedent that came before them, then I encourage you to offer some clarification. Steer the conversation away from potential judgment for past and instead a healthy acknowledgement and ownership of the privileges that have come from negative past events and practices, and enlist them in using that privilege to reduce that privilege and help change that reality so that everyone can be fairly treated as well. In the meantime, be open to the possibility that what looks unfair, like unfair efforts to treat someone in favor over you, may be creative efforts to correct historical injustices and unfair treatment and have resulted in systemic treatment disadvantaging many as being under you. Hopefully, we can look forward to a future where these efforts won't be needed. Until then, let's work together to help everyone be seen, heard, and understood and valued, no matter their race, gender, or beyond. And with that, I'll say thanks again for listening to today's Diversity Do podcast. If you found it positive and insightful, be sure to like and subscribe so I know which topics you'd like me to share more on in the future, and share with a friend so they can be encouraged as well. And you can also get my free guide for how your organization can learn shame-free and empowering strategies or cultivating a culturally safe working environment for you and everyone on your team simply by visiting lambertsfisher.com/playbook. Or share with them my award-winning book, Diversity in Clinical Practice, available at Amazon.com. And don't forget to visit TED.com and check out my talk on what to do when you offend someone. I hope it inspires you and that you share with someone else so that they can be inspired as well. And as usual, I look forward to addressing as many topics as possible in future podcasts to help improve as many relationships as possible at work, at home, and in your community. And as always, remember this: you don't need to know everything about everyone in order to have a positive impact on someone. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a great day.
Tune in each week and find out how to demand and implement diversity at your job. To hear more, check out previous Diversity Dude shows on ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com.
Want to own a home, especially your first? Well then, welcome home to the Old National Bank Down Payment Assistance Program. We're here to help you from start to finish and make getting a mortgage a little easier. Plus, you may be eligible for up to $15,000 to use toward your down payment. How's that for a little easier? Everyone deserves a place to call home and a bank to help get them there. Connect with an Old National mortgage lender to learn more. Old National Bank. Get old in your new home.
Hey, it's your girl Shaletta. Are you over there running low on your insulin supply and worried how you're going to pay for it? Minnesota's Insulin Safety Net programs got you covered. If you have less than a 7-day supply of insulin, you can get a 30-day refill for just $35 at any Minnesota pharmacy. Go to mninsulin.org today, print out the application, complete the form, and just take it in to your pharmacy. Go to mninsulin.org.